Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're doing something pretty ambitious. We are taking on a primary source document from a timeline known only as the year of the Depend Adult Undergarment.
Or YDAU for short.
Right, YDAU. And our whole approach here is to treat every single detail we find in this record as objective historical fact.
We're basically historians here. We're trying to piece together a summary of this world, these events, just from what the document tells us.
And it throws us right into the deep end. The setting is, well, it's very specific.
It's a highly structured institutional setting. I mean, the document mentions a headmaster's house, a portcullis that suggests a place that's guarded, maybe academic, maybe something else.
Definitely high level. It even talks about formal drills as part of the daily routine.
Yeah, and the record keeping is incredibly precise. We get these little factual markers like the medical attaché watching an unlabeled entertainment cartridge.
And he gives us the exact time, 2010 hours on April 1st, YDAU. So this is a world where things are meticulously monitored.
You'd have to think that monitoring is there for a reason. And that reason seems to be performance.
Let's start with the first key individual, Hal.
How? The document makes it clear from the get-go that he is an exceptional athlete.
Not just good exceptional. The record states he made an opponent look sick and executed a successful drop volley. These are hard facts of his physical prowess.
But this peak performance is immediately contrasted with this intense physical and even mental exhaustion.
Right. He complains that his hair hurts.
His hair hurts, and he's desperate for sleepy time. It's almost as if that physical output completely drains him, which then seems to sharpen his mind for what comes next.
And what comes next is his profound philosophical argument with his roommate, Mario.
Yeah, Hal doesn't just say he's upset. He says he has administrative bones to pick with God.
It's like a policy dispute. It's so specific. He defines his own stance as being pretty much anti-death.
Which, from his point of view, puts him in direct conflict with God's management style. Exactly. He sees God's laid-back management style as effectively pro-death. For Hal, this isn't just a mood. It's a core belief system, a governing principle.
And the person pulling this out of him is his roommate, Mario. Or Boo, as he's sometimes called.
And Mario's role in the document seems to be that of the interrogator, the emotional gauge.
The emotional gauge, that's a good way to put it. He's the one asking these huge late-night questions about God and grief.
He also seems really vulnerable. There's a point where he worries that Hal might pity him, which is a key piece of information about their dynamic.
It's this mix of excellence and intense emotional pain. And the document captures this perfectly with that anecdote about the joke.
Oh, the joke, yeah.
Hal tells this joke about what you get when you cross an insomniac, an unwilling agnostic, and a dyslexic.
And the punchline is, you get someone who stays up all night torturing himself over whether or not there's a dog.
Which is just a brilliant factual summary of Hal's own mental state, isn't it? Sleeplessness, theological doubt, and this kind of linguistic confusion all rolled into one.
It connects his world-class ability on the court with this profound internal struggle. And this struggle isn't limited to him. The document briefly mentions others.
Wait, there's a Pemulus who witnesses Hal's skill and a CT.
And CT is a crucial data point. The record confirms he verifiably cried over the passing of this central figure, the one known only as himself.
And now, this same CT makes the figure known as Mom's Laugh.
Yeah.
Everything seems to connect back to one event.
It does. The entire historical record seems to pivot on this one axis, the death of himself sometime before the events of YDAU.
It is the defining historical turning point. Everything is measured as before or after this event.
And the institution itself acknowledges this. The reaction was immediate. They lowered the flag at the portcullis to half-mast right after the death.
And it's not a one-time thing. The document confirms this is a ritual repeated every single year at convocation. It's cemented in their history.
But the most dramatic shift we see in any individual is in Mom's.
Her change in behavior is drastic. The record gives us a clear before and after.
Before the death of himself, she was engaged with the outside world. She traveled for these causes, the corporate grammar thing and the library protest thing.
So she was an advocate, an external policy-focused person.
Completely. And then after the event, that entire external focus just collapses. It vanishes.
She becomes confined to the grounds. The document is very specific. The house, her office, and a tunnel connecting them. That's her entire world.
And her behavior becomes just as contained. The record notes the objective facts of her condition. agoraphobia, intense workaholism, and obsessive-compulsive tendencies.
The detail about zero dust motes in her house is so precise. It suggests a need for absolute radical control over her immediate environment.
And here is the central paradox of the entire document.
This is what's so fascinating, because Mario, our emotional barometer, reports that after all this, Mom's got happier.
It seems like a total contradiction. He has observable evidence. She seems taller. She laughs more.
And he says she laughs from lower down inside. Her eyes look better. I mean, those are clear physical signs of improved well-being.
But Hal, the pragmatist, the one who is anti-death, he sees it differently. He pushes back.
He doesn't see happiness. He just describes her using verifiable behaviors. He says she is an agoraphobic, workaholic, and obsessive-compulsive.
So we have two conflicting reports. One based on perceived emotional state, the other on observed clinical behavior. The tension there is immense.
And Hal has to reconcile this, because his whole worldview, his anti-death stance, is directly tied to the passing of himself. So he analyzes Mom's transformation.
And his analysis is, I think, the key to understanding this entire historical account. It's what he says about the flagpole.
The flagpole metaphor, it's not a metaphor in the document, is it? It's presented as a factual analysis of mechanics.
Exactly. Hal states a fact. There are two ways to lower a flag to half-mast. The first way is obvious.
You lower the flag, you pull it down the pole.
Right. But Hal proposes a second, far more radical mechanical process.
You raise the pole.
You raise the pole itself to twice its original height.
And if you do that, the flag is still at the halfway point of the pole. It is, by definition, at half-mast, but it's just as high off the ground as it was before.
Precisely. The sorrow hasn't gone away. The scale of the entire structure has just been massively amplified to contain it.
So Hal is arguing that Mom's didn't become less sad. She became exponentially more controlled, more obsessive, busier. The pole of her life, her work, her cleaning, was raised to such an extreme height.
That her immense sorrow now only looks like a halfway point. Her visible happiness is just a marker on a much, much longer scale of pain.
Hal even says it outright. He says, she's plenty sad, I bet.
So this enormous internal restructuring is the direct historical consequence of this death. It explains why she had to abandon her external work.
The library protests and all that.
Yeah, that kind of work required a different kind of energy. Her new state, this state of absolute internal perfection, is the only structure strong enough to display her grief at its proper scale.
It reframes workaholism completely. It's not an escape from grief. It's a monument to it.
A monument. That's the perfect word. C.T. cried, which is the simple, direct expression. Moms. Moms built a cathedral of control and work just to fly her flag at half-mast.
It seems the record is giving us a new framework for analyzing historical reactions to trauma. That hyper-functional, highly controlled behavior isn't the absence of sadness.
It can be its most demanding and maybe its most profound manifestation. It's a survival mechanism that requires almost superhuman effort just to maintain that balance.
So to summarize what this deep dive has shown us from the YDAU document, we have a set of facts.
We have a highly structured community, a world of elite performance grappling with a single polarizing death.
We have individuals like Hal, whose world-class athleticism exists side by side with crippling philosophical distress.
And we have grief manifesting in two distinct ways. There's the direct observable sorrow, like crying, and then there's this raising the pole phenomenon.
The transformation of moms, where overwhelming loss is contained by building a life of extreme controlled workaholism.
That structural change of the self is what defines this entire era documented in the record.
And this leaves us with a final thought for you, the learner, to consider. If we accept the facts of Hal's analysis, that a person can raise their entire capacity for effort and control to contain a constant, profound sorrow.
Then what does that tell us about other historical figures? People we know from our own history who were known for an almost inhuman work ethic or an obsessive focus.
Could that extreme perfectionism, that total devotion to an institution or a cause, actually be a different kind of historical record? A silent, relentless monument built to house an overwhelming and maybe unresolved sorrow. Something to keep in mind as you look at the records.